The Cubs came into this road trip having won 9 road series. They lose both of these, going 2-4 on the road trip, 3 losses in the walk-off fashion. And tonight it is a 2-0 loss to lose this series. It all came down to a balk that wasn't called, but after the fact, we're going to go through all the video for you and show you why it should have been. Crow-Armstrong, quite frankly, he was livid about it. He saw it. Craig Counsell in on the conversation. Quentin Berry needing to hold back PCA because that's how angry he was about it all. And the Cubs probably not feeling great after this final of 2-0. So welcome on into Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. It's Elise Menaker, Lance Brozdowski. And Lance, you always hope that you score enough or you don't leave things open to interpretation during a game that doesn't come down to these specific plays. But had that been called, it would have been a run. They would have gone up 1 because they fell behind 1-0 the next half inning. And that's just how things go. But it did play a significant part considering the score of this game.
No question. I mean, listen, if you would have had to have scored 3 runs if you assumed that D-backs did everything in the same way. But that doesn't absolve us from not having to complain about this. It's a weird one, but essentially the speed of Pete frustrates defenses all the time. We see this constantly. So he breaks down the line. Eduardo Rodriguez started his motion and then steps off. We're going to show you a couple angles here of how he starts the motion, and you'll see his back leg go off the rubber. That is the problem. This is going right here, right side of your screen. That leg going back, that is not legal per the balk rule as I understand it. You can't do that once you start the motion. So once you have that natural motion going, you can't disengage from the rubber, which is the pitcher's plate on the bottom there. That is the problem. That's why Pete was fired up. That's why Counsell was fired up. That's why QB was playing linebacker, trying to keep Pete from kind of exploding, which I think he was very much in the right in doing, because this was a bad call. This should have been a run. And I get it from Pete's perspective too. Listen, that is a part of his game. That is what he does. He creates havoc everywhere. Cole says this all the time, and I love when he brings it up, but this is an element. It's something that's maybe not tangible in a lot of the data of him, but this is what we're talking about. We're super zoomed up here. This is the play. This is Eduardo Rodriguez. He starts his motion, and then you'll see that disengagement. That is not natural to his pitching motion. So by the rule, that's a balk. You can't step off. If he sped up his delivery, exactly.
You cannot disengage from the rubber.
If he kept his foot on the rubber and quick pitched, I think that would have been fair. If threw the ball home as if hey, I thought Pete was breaking. But the disengagement from the rubber, that back foot going behind the rubber, is the disengagement from the pitcher's plate, and that is the problem. So this is a balk, and I think it's really frustrating because there's no real recourse here. You can't go back and go, hey, sorry about that, we're gonna put the run back on the board and replay the final 3 innings of the game. And I maybe the thing to advocate for here is, why is review not on everything? I get that we have these random points in the game that aren't reviewable, but I don't understand why Counsell just can't come out, talk to the umpire, and be like, hey, what are you reviewing? The ump asks Counsell what he's reviewing. Counsell goes, can you look at that balk again? And then they're able to do that. They're able to go to video and realize, hey, the 4 umps that were on the field somehow missed this. We were wrong, so let's correct it. That's why Counsell's livid here, and he's justified.
As you're talking, I'm thinking, when we do have review now, perhaps there is something where if the play results in a score change, then you should be able to review it or something like that. If
I don't mind that at all. Yeah.
The score, then maybe, adding, this is thinking on the fly, just going through this, because on the fly, now watching it live, I noticed that Rodriguez sped up his windup. Now that's, like you're saying, that's okay. It's the fact that, and now again, watching live, I did not see the back foot go off. What I just noticed, which still would have been a balk, was there's a little hitch, right there.
Yep.
And that hitch ended up being his back foot going off the rubber. All in all, you can understand now, because Pete maybe has the best view of everyone.
Looking
who can
right
see that he stepped off, and that's why he's getting
third base. We can't understand exactly where his vision was, but it doesn't look like it was on Eduardo. We don't really have a look at where the other 2 umpires would have been, but it kind of just seems like 4 people missed it. And to your point, from the game cam, the first time through, I didn't think he stepped off. I thought he just picked up his foot and put it back down, which I don't think would have been a balk. It's the disengagement from the pitcher's plate, as the rule showed. That is the problem. And it's frustrating. I don't know how this wasn't called. And I imagine we're going to hear from Counsell, and I hope he's passionate about it.
Well, and I also wonder if Pete was a little more frustrated too, because I feel that was almost if you see the lead that he took,
yeah,
and he's almost breaking towards home to try to at least be in the peripheral of the pitcher or throw
Lefty's
something
looking right
off.
at him,
so
for
he
sure.
felt perhaps that he accomplished what he was trying to do. And then in the end, he's thinking, why is no one calling this? Because, I kind of created this, and now, it's backfiring. No one noticed.
I mean, that's it. Like, listen, we've seen in the past, PP, he's got some temper in situations, but he's done a great job this year of, I think, kind of maturing in that sense, just from my perspective. But that moment was one where I'm like, totally fine, man. Throw your helmet. Like, that is an incorrect call. And I want Pete Crow-Armstrong in those moments going, you got this wrong. I'm going to flip out until you correct it. So, I mean, props to QB for calming him down. That was like, Quentin Berry's had a great series between the relaying of the signs potentially on Kelly's changeups and preventing Pete from getting tossed from this game because, again, he's such an essential part of this team. You can't get him tossed in that situation.
And that's why, I love
MVP
the fire.
is Quentin Berry.
I love the fire from Pete, but also once this call is made, don't risk getting tossed. Then on the flip side, so you have that happening in the top of the sixth. And then in the bottom, you're hoping that at some point the Cubs answer when this isn't called. And the fire from Pete Crow-Armstrong means something.
This is
the
baseball,
D-backs
isn't it?
answer, actually.
It's frustrating.
And so Jordan Lawlar, he got hit in the head last night by Daniel Palencia. He's in the starting lineup today. He goes opposite field on a changeup from Matthew Boyd. He lets his ball travel so deep. I mean, this is not a terrible pitch.
I agree.
This is not completely left over the plate. Did it catch the outer edge? Sure. But Lance, that is, some good contact there.
It's one of those moments where you're watching this game and you go like, of course that would happen in the bottom of the inning because you had the non-call on the balk that prevented the Cubs from scoring a run. But I mean, that's a great swing by Lawlar. I don't think that's a mistake from Boyd. I thought Boyd looked fantastic today. The velo ticked back up. He was missing more bats in the zone, which was something pregame I was talking about, which is something to definitely focus on through September with him. Such an essential part of his game. That's kind of his superpower, the ability to throw the fastball, get by people in the box. And you tip your cap to Lawlar there. I mean, that's a great swing on a pitch the other way. We've been watching the series, and it feels like every ball hit hard. There was a deep fly ball, I want to say, by James McCann in this game to left center that was hit like 410 feet. That is out of probably 29 parks, but the weird corners.
I learned by this game, any fly ball, I was like, no,
especially the left and right center.
And then Lawlar, the one of all.
It's a good swing. I mean, Boyd pitched great. You got to tip your cap, but watching this game, that was one of those moments where you're like, yeah, of course this would happen.
Well, more on Matthew Boyd,
sure.
Because yes, he has been susceptible to the long ball, especially this month in August, but really it was one swing of the bat. I'm not even going to say one pitch, because sometimes you could say it was one miss and then the hitter took advantage. But in this case, especially early on, he's getting ground balls, double plays to get out of innings. This is what you needed for Matthew Boyd. You wanted to see this.
No doubt, yeah. The forcing velo on the season for him is usually like 92.7 miles per hour. He was up almost a full mile per hour. He's sitting 93.5 in this one. He held it for a bit too in this game. Final inning in the sixth, he was sitting 94 on a couple fastballs he threw. So, listen, this was really encouraging. Like, you're probably looking at your game 1, 2, 3 starters in some combination here on this board we're showing. These guys pitched great. I love some of the usage adjustments that the Cubs have made with both Gausman and Holmes to get them kind of flowing. And listen, like, if Boyd locks in and can get you back to that like mid-90s, 93-ish area that we've been hoping, he's going to be a really tough pitcher for opposing hitting teams to match up with.
And you need that from Boyd as well, just Boyd to kind of be who Matthew Boyd can be, which is solid, give you innings, be effective, and keep you in the game, which is what he did today.